Happy Sunday, everybody. How you doing? It is February 2nd. No, 2nd is part of the month. It is February 25th, 2018. I am awake. I swear. I've been up for a few hours and I even had a McDonald's breakfast. I am posting this kind of late. This cartoon was published Saturday morning, and then I did a whole bunch of other stuff yesterday, like some sleeping, and so now I'm just getting around to doing the video. Oh, hope you like it. So I am doing something on Donald Trump and his comments about the school resource officer who stayed outside during the attack in Parkland, and Trump has called the guy a coward. So I thought that was interesting. And I didn't read it. I saw it on TV, and an interesting comment from one of the students. She said that she did not want to be too angry at the officer because he may be dead today if he had gone aside, and she said he's a human being and didn't really want to beat up on him too much. And that was very mature. I'd probably still be angry at him, but anyway, I'm drawing a whole bunch of Russian spies, and I kind of broke one of my rules that I've recently talked about. I threw in Boris and Natasha, but I didn't make them the entire focus of the cartoon, and just made them kind of part of it. And plus, with Boris and Natasha, I figured I didn't have to label all the spies all sitting around Trump. And you know, I was going back and forth over what text to put coming from Trump. For some reason, I just couldn't really get a handle on what I wanted to do. You'll hear CNN in the background. Jake Tapper follows me on Twitter. He's commented on some of my cartoons, which makes me think he's a cool guy. But that's just personal selfishness on my part. I'm posting this late because I really wanted to take Saturday off, and I was looking forward to it. But then Friday night, a newspaper on Friday night, they're on the West Coast, so it was like in the afternoon for them. But they contacted me wanting a cartoon as soon as possible on a statewide issue, so in their state. So I did that yesterday after I did this cartoon. And they finally, I sent them about 3 different ideas, and they finally approved it about 11 my time here on the East Coast. And so I actually went out to draw, because I figured if I wasn't drawing it at home, I would be if I drew it at home, I'd be too tempted to go to sleep. But so I went out, and also just sitting in one spot in a coffee shop just made me just blaze through the cartoon, so I had it done in a couple hours. I like drawing this guy on the floor. Just spread everything out. Today's video is going to be about, well, it's going to be 20 minutes and 1 second. I try to make these a little bit faster, but I actually have it at the highest rate that I can time lapse it. I just have to learn how to draw faster, don't I? I ran into a couple friends yesterday, and I was able to show them my YouTube videos, because apparently they were unaware that I was doing this. Seems like most people are unaware. And I was just finding it funny how Trump is calling somebody a coward for not defending, you know, as he took an oath to do, while he's just letting Russians attack our nation again and again and again. Even whenever he finally acknowledged that Russia meddled in our election, he still did not blame them. He didn't criticize them at all. He didn't criticize Putin, but he attacked a lot of other people. Oh, I just realized you can do some shout-outs. Ready with some shout-outs. Rico Flower is a new person who commented. And apparently he's my 100th. He or she. Sorry, Rico. It's my 100th subscriber. Thank you very much. Barbara Cotino commented. And twice. Quana came back. Thank you, Quana. Mary Carmen. And Ariel. And I think that might be it. Thank you, everybody. Loves you all. You know, Boris just kind of came together. Well, he's an easy guy to draw, which I really have to like. But his whole head came to it just very spontaneously, and I probably could have really sharpened it up, but I just liked the way it looked. I didn't really want to mess with it. And Natasha wasn't that hard either. She's harder to draw than Boris. She actually has an actual shape to her. Boris is just like a little potato with skinny legs. The problem with these guys is that I like them too much. Because they're just so ridiculous. So I'm in danger of drawing them way too often. So I did a Google search to see of images, to see how other political cartoonists have drawn them, and I saw this one guy pop up who's drawn them like 6 or 7 times over the past 2 years. They were like the first ones in the image. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to beat up on him, but he should beat up on himself. I actually had to do some Google images of trench coats. And if I put For Your Eyes Only by Sheena Easton into your head, sorry. You kids don't know that song. If there are any kids here. Yeah, I could come up with new stuff. Yeah, don't forget, Trump gave away Allied intel to Russians while in the Oval Office. I was going to make this look just like the Resolute desk, but I realized that I messed up the top of the desk to do that very effectively. But I really didn't want to change it. I just like, screw it. I kind of got in the zone when I was cross-hatching and drawing, actually. I was just feeling good. I was listening to some rock and roll, drinking coffee. I was drinking Javalia, which is really good stuff. You should try it if you haven't. I think that should be the #1 coffee for a political cartoonist. While you're drawing, drink Javalia. I realize I need to give him a bigger mouth. I actually haven't drawn Trump in a few days. I would like for my next cartoon not to be on guns, the NRA, or Russians. So I feel like that, other than Black Panther, those are the only 2 issues I did last week. It was back and forth. One day Russians, one day shooting, one day Russians shooting, Russians shooting, Russians shooting. And then I capped it off with doing a cartoon on Russians and shooting. If there was an award for Russian school shooting political cartoons, I probably would not win it, but still, I'd enter. I realized that his tie was not long enough. Needed to go somewhere else. I'm like watching this like, hurry up and get to the color end part. Because that was kind of a mess. What are they talking about? That's the other thing that somebody's talking about. All the warning signs of the shooter. But people are kind of forgetting something. Yeah, the FBI messed up and they dropped the ball. They didn't really go after this guy. But what could they have done with going after him? Ask him a bunch of questions and hope that intimidates him to stay home? Because he had not broken any laws. He had not threatened any individuals or any particular place, as far as I'm aware of. There was really no call to arrest him. Do you remember that movie that I didn't watch? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. That movie where it's in the future and they can predict. Well, not predict, but well, yeah, it predicts that it knows when someone's going to commit a crime, so they arrest them before they do it. I think Tom Cruise or some other major league actor who can't act is in it. Maybe it's not Tom Cruise. I could Google this and find out and know what I'm talking about, but I don't even think the movie's worth even looking up. But yeah, they could predict crimes and just go ahead and arrest people before they do it. Well, we don't have that, really. FBI couldn't have gone and arrest a Parkland shooter. I've been real careful not to say his name. I'm not going to. But we don't have that. So while people are bashing the FBI, what are you bashing them for? I mean, we're hoping that their questioning of the individual would have made him stay home. That's it. It's another theory. That's all you got going for you. It's really weird that Republicans are just so hard up against anyone criticizing the police, like, whenever they shoot black people who are unarmed. And how dare you criticize the police? But it's fine for them to criticize law enforcement when it suits their political means. I was making these trench coats really gray. I was going with watercolor. So, like, I started off with this. I forget the name of the brush now. I don't have the program open. But after I go down with some paint, and I'm still kind of learning how to do it, I take this water brush that doesn't really add any color at all. It just mixes everything together that I've already laid down. And that's what I'm doing right here. Sometimes I think it works out nice, and other times I think it's like, And on the desk, I really just kind of muffed it. And then I went back and redid parts of it. And that's the cool thing about the program, is that it's like real paint on paper, because you make mistakes and they sit there. Then you can go back and kind of fix them and mess around with them. The only difference is that you can actually erase them, whereas like on paper with paint you really can't do that. So this desk came out way too orangey here. And so I'll go right here, and whoa, way too orange. And it starts to turn red. Like, what the hell? So I throw some brown in there, and then I go back with the water, and then I think I'm happy with this for a little while. And I gotta go with a nice brown over here. The only thing is when I start adding the water, you start getting darker, and you think it's cool, and then it just gets really, really too dark. And you gotta go back over it and just kind of fix it. I might have spent like 30 minutes just on this desk. Me and this desk were not getting along. And then I realized that just sucks. Let's do it again. I'm watching this. I do like that tone. Did I stick with it? I'm trying to remember. Here's the other fun thing about arming people at schools. You do remember the Fort Hood shooting, right? On a military base? 13 people died. They have guns on military bases. You can't really describe a military base as a gun-free zone. The Washington Naval Shipyard. How many people died there? I don't remember. I gotta look it up. And it's kind of like a crime that I can't remember. But I can't remember the numbers of everybody at all these mass shootings because we're having too many. I do remember it was 26 at a church in Texas. Because I just looked that up the other day. But the Naval Shipyard in Washington, it's a naval facility. I wouldn't really call it a gun-free zone. I know that it's like an office in a lot of areas and people are packing throughout the whole place, but there's still security. There's somebody on the grounds with a gun. I'd say more than a somebody, like several people. Trump says these people are cowards. They only go to gun-free zones. That is not true. Not true at all. I think typically when somebody does this, they are ready to die. And the thing is, they still have the element of surprise. So even if you do kill the shooter, and usually they are killed, they still have a lot of success. Because, the NRA has made it as easy as possible for these people to kill people. All right, enough of the political rant for the moment. Yeah, I really like doing the skin tones. I'm not too sure how that guy's trench coat turned out, the shading, but I stuck with it. So after I do this video and I have it posted, I'm going to do a couple of chores around the house. And then think of my next cartoon. And I have no idea where that's going to be. This has nothing to do with the video, but today I'm going to go through all my clothes and get rid of everything that I'm never going to wear ever again. And some charity is coming by this week to pick up clothes, and I want to put stuff out there. And a lot of the stuff I'm getting rid of is like in really good condition. Because, I have more than like 3 shirts, so a lot of them it's not seeing a lot of use. So that's what I'm doing today. And vacuuming. Not that you needed to know any of that, but it's a good day to get rid of clothes. I want fewer things in my life. It's like the only thing I'm going to keep, really, that I don't use that much anymore, are my guitars. I can't part with my guitars. Or my amplifiers. But I don't play music out anymore. This cartoon is almost done. I decided not to go with any background at all. And I'm glad I did that. Now I'm just tweaking around with some of the gray. I'm using the whole water effect again, the water brush. It's a soft water. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for liking. Please click like. Watch this movie. Share. Tell all your friends about it. If you know me and you're supposedly my friend, you need to subscribe to the channel, okay? And everybody else, subscribe. Thank you very much, and everybody have a great Sunday, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye, 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 bye. Bam.